Hi, welcome back to the in-between, the space between what was and what is yet to be. My name is Camille. There's something you're not saying. You can feel it. It's sitting in your throat, maybe your chest. You've thought about saying it. You've even practiced saying it, but you haven't said it. This is the invitation. Speak your truth. We're living at a time when reality is being built upon lies, where we have normalized not telling the truth, where we have lost our ability to discern what is the truth. So it's becoming increasingly important for each and every one of us to speak our own truth. And yet, many times, it's very, very difficult. Many times we find that we want to speak our truth, but we're scared. We're nervous. We just can't do it. And so when you're going through the in-between, you're going through incredible change. We've been talking about the kind of change you're going through, how it feels when you're going through that change, and the kind of helpers that are around you to assist you in navigating this massive experience of self-transformation. And so this moment is extremely important as you walk towards who it is you are becoming. Oftentimes, when we are afraid to speak our truth, or we find that we just can't speak up, because speaking your truth includes perhaps things that have been left unsaid in a relationship, things that you've been holding in, maybe for years, that you haven't said, and it's coming up literally. It's sitting right here in your throat, and you're trying to figure out how to do it. But it also includes the simple act of simply not speaking up. When you're in a group, when you're in a meeting, when someone asks you what you think, even in those kinds of moments where you hesitate to tell your truth, to give your opinion, where there's a sense of fear about what will happen if you do. These are all the kinds of moments that we are being invited by change to speak up and to speak our truth. So if you're having that kind of experience where you're fearful, there's anxiety, it's caught in your throat, you want to, but you just can't. This is a wonderful opportunity, and I would encourage you to get professional help if you can't do it on your own, to discover why it may be so that you can't speak your truth. What might be behind the fear of speaking up? What might have you learned as a child that has kept your voice silent, that has kept your truth pressed down within you? So much so that the sheer thought of speaking up or speaking your truth to someone is frightening, shuts you down. It is a no without question. As I have been traveling through this journey, I have met this moment myself. And what I have had to do, aside from or along with getting professional help to uncover what it is that has been holding me back from feeling empowered and safe to speak my truth, I have had to practice it. Because sometimes in the beginning, just hearing yourself speak your truth out loud in the safety of your own home or the car is the first step to feeling more comfortable and more safe actually speaking your truth or speaking up with and to others. And I want to encourage you to do just that. Is there something that's right here in your throat that you know you have to say, but you've been holding yourself back from saying it? Is there something that's sitting in your chest that is asking you to put your full attention on it? Because oftentimes that's the first step in speaking your truth, is turning back to yourself and being honest about where that unspoken truth lives, and to identify what exactly is the truth that you're not speaking, that truth is asking you to give voice to. Maybe you need to then write it down. Maybe you need to journal about it. Maybe you need to sit at night quiet with a candle or two lit and talk out loud to yourself and do this back and forth. I'm a verbal person. So, though in the past I spent a lot of time journaling, and I have so many journals that hold all those moments, these days I find talking out loud to myself incredibly helpful, incredibly therapeutic, and incredibly appropriate for the times in which we are living. I am an audio person, I'm a broadcaster. I use my voice all the time as part of my work in the world. And so maybe that's a way for you to do it. Or maybe you are a journaler. Whichever it is, use that which works for you. And if you haven't landed on something that works, or maybe what has been working isn't working anymore, try this process where you first identify where in my body is this truth being held. The next part, what truth is it that's asking me to speak out on its behalf? The third part, can I practice just hearing myself speaking these words out loud? Because sometimes when you do, that's all you need to do. Maybe the person isn't around anymore, but you still need to say what you never said to them. Whatever it may be, these are very appropriate steps to take as you prepare yourself to become the version of yourself that can speak your truth. Because as you begin to practice this, to identify where it lives in your body, to acknowledge it, to bring your hands to your chest, to your throat, to your heart, to your stomach, wherever it lives, to soothe that version of yourself that has been scared to speak up as you take those first steps. As you identify, what is it that I haven't said that's sitting in my body, that's right here, that's asking me to speak out for the truth that it is. And then writing or talking it out. And then, yes, practicing, rehearsing, to give yourself an experience of not only what you feel like when you speak your truth, but to have the experience that you can be safe, that you are safe speaking your truth. Then perhaps you get ready to speak it to the person. Now, if you're in the kind of relationship where you can tell the person, hey, I need to share something with you that is making me feel vulnerable, and I would really appreciate it if you would help me by just listening. If you're in a position, if you're in a relationship where you can offer that type of instruction, do it. Ask the person for what you need. Tell them, this is a big step for me. I find that I haven't really spoken my truth much in this relationship, and I would like to try that with you. And I'm asking that you just listen and create as safe a place as possible. If it's someone that you love, and if it's someone who loves you, that is an important part of strengthening the muscle of being able to speak your truth. Maybe you don't have that experience with that person. Then you simply prepare yourself by practicing, by writing it out, but not overdoing it. This is not about rehearsing because the mind tells you that you've got to get something right. That's not what this is. This is simply about giving yourself the experience through practicing of what you feel like and what you sound like when you speak your truth. Maybe you're in a situation at work where you have these group meetings and this experience of not speaking up, not so much even speaking your truth, though maybe it does live there, but just speaking up, sharing your opinion. Maybe that's where speak your truth lives. Again, the opportunity is what's going on within you. What program did you grow up in that told you it wasn't safe to speak up? What did you go through as a child that when you did speak up, you got punished? And as a result, it was a clear communication. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. And who can blame you? If you grew up in an environment where you were punished or judged for speaking up, it's very clear what to do. And that is don't say anything, because that's how you'll be safe. That's how you'll not get punished. You won't get yelled at. And though that might have been appropriate behavior for you as a child to be safe in an unsafe environment, we're adults now. And in the new design model, we look at what might still be running the show from our past that's no longer appropriate. We're willing to take a look at what versions of ourselves may still be stuck in the past. The little one within us that may be the one that's afraid to speak up because of those experiences. that we can do the work now to go back and get that self and put that person, that little one, back into our hearts, letting them know, I got this. We are safe. We are going to speak up respectfully and lovingly, as cleanly as we can, and we are safe. Another part of speaking your truth is the realization that you're not responsible for how your truth lands for another person, but you are responsible for how you deliver it. And that is empowering. And that is why in the beginning, I did practice speaking my truth out loud. Because not only did I want to get comfortable with how I felt speaking truth to someone or speaking up in a group, but I also wanted to make sure, because I'm committed to the path of oneness and love, peace and harmony, I wanted to make sure I was doing it as cleanly, as respectfully, and as lovingly as possible, as much for myself as the other person. Sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, bam, it comes out, and that's all that you can do. It's there. It came out messy. It came out with anger. And in those moments, what you still can do is clean it up as quickly as possible. Once you get on the other side of that, you can say, I apologize. Clearly, that was built up over a long period of time. That's not an ideal way in which I hope to have said that, but there it is. Can we continue to have a conversation anyway? A lot of times in the new design model and in the in-between, you do have to lead the conversation. Not always, but at this point in the journey, or you've come to understand what you're going through, why you're feeling what you're feeling, the tips and the strategies that you can use to help yourself as you navigate it all, you are often in a position where you have to educate and model to other people the new version of you. And so if that moment happens, it's okay. It's not always going to be perfect. Life is messy. Relationships are messy. And so we just do the best we can. But know that you're not responsible for how another person receives your information, because by the time you send the arrow and you have carefully curated the tip, is it loving? Yes. Is it respectful? Yes. Am I speaking my truth as cleanly and as quickly as I can? Yes. And then you say it. That information oftentimes goes through the filter of the person receiving it. A filter you didn't put there. A filter that you can't affect. Depending upon the relationship, you can bring it to someone's attention if they're open to it. But it may go through a filter that distorts how you said it. And in the old design model, we were often responsible for that too. But we're liberating ourselves from that because we're not responsible for another person's emotional experience of how we're speaking if we've done everything we can to send it in a way that's respectful, civil, and loving. And so if you're in this moment where you are having a truth that is unspoken within you, I want to encourage you to try these steps and see what might work for you. And as always, if you would like to share in the comments, I'd love to hear not just how all this is landing for you, but how maybe some of these strategies might be changing, liberating you, freeing you from speaking your truth. Because speaking your truth liberates you. It may cause you to shake and quake in your shoes, as they say, in your boots. But if you are able to apply these tips and strategies and go forward and speak your truth, you know what's going to happen over time? Over time, you're going to be able to do it quickly and swiftly. Over time, you're going to seize the moment to clean it up. Over time, you're going to be able to start having the language that says, you know what? This isn't feeling good right now to me. Instead of not speaking that truth, walking away from the conversation and having a whole thing develop. No, we don't want a whole thing developing anymore. We want to deal with things in the moment as quickly and swiftly as possible. We want to make sure that we're in alignment with all the versions of ourselves that are asking us to represent them in situations, conversations, and relationships. And it's so empowering to do this work. And I want to encourage you to take the steps that you need to take as slowly and as small a step as necessary so that you can arrive in the moment where you can speak your truth and feel liberated so that you can continue on in the journey that is the in between. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.